Hannibal, what is your take on human nature? What do you think about people?
People are interesting, living portraits of what we see, what we do, how we feel. But the most exquisite things are how they taste.
Cooked or not cooked?
Preferably cooked.
Sauteed with fava beans?
The better.
Butter or truffle oil?
Butter.
Margot, what do you think about human nature and people in general?
I think that it's a dog-eat-dog world. Everyone's out for themselves, and you either get crushed or you're the one who crushes them.
So are you the one who crushes them?
Absolutely. I'm not going to be pushed over by anybody. And if that means I have to take somebody down, that means they go down.
Phil, how about you?
Well, people are definitely interesting. I just feel that they don't have, there's not enough love in the world. People don't really get enough passion into each other. They don't really they just kind of go around life bumping by and just they take some seconds down just to really, get to know someone. Really, just fall in love for once.
Hannibal, what's your worst childhood memory?
"1944. My parents were dead. The Germans and the Soviets were at war. A band of looters had come by, and my sister and I were taken. They had run out of food, and Misha had drawn the short stick. She was eaten. And I, in the end, took part in as well.
To survive.
Yes.
Margot, what's your worst childhood memory?
When my mother left me at the orphanage because I was a girl. I was, 10? She just couldn't handle competing with somebody else. So I was left on my own.
Were you ever molested as a child?
No. I was
Was your
fine.
mother worried that you might be, if she was threatened
No,
by you?
she was worried that I would take the attention away from her, but more from my father and our grandparents.
And what was your social class? Your
We were very high class
Okay.
until she abandoned me. And then I had to fight for myself.
Ever since then. Okay. What about for you? What's your worst childhood memory?
I don't know how you pick one. They're just so. I'd say, it's prom night in high school. I had this girl I was really into, and I thought things were going so well. I thought we really knew each other, and so I kind of I let her know how I felt, and she didn't exactly feel the same way. And not only that, she kind of got a little weird about it. And next thing I know, she's telling the whole school about it, and I'm just kind of a laughing stock. But it happens. You live, you learn. It's what happens.
So you think being vulnerable or being honest is not always a good thing?
No, I think it's actually the opposite. It's hurt, to go through it, but
Yeah. But you wouldn't change.
I would. I'm not scared of my feelings. I'll let him. Just that not everyone can take it the right way. It's just,
True.
and that's the real issue.
Okay. And Hannibal, tell us about your first kiss.
Okay, out of character.
You make it up.
Great sociopath.
A little Fräulein. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. So Hannibal, tell us about your first kiss. Tell us what it felt like. Okay.
I can't think of
All right.
anything. I'm sorry.
No worries, no worries. Margot, you remember your first kiss?
Yeah, some kid named Jeremiah. He went to the boys' orphanage across the street. We ran into each other at the playground. I was, what, 8?
So it wasn't memorable.
No, he meant nothing to me.
What about for you, Phil?
Oh man, my first kiss. I remember like it was yesterday. It was freshman year. I was seeing this girl for a little bit, and we were just hanging out. And I took her on a date. We went on a nice picnic and were hanging out. And I remember I was driving her home, and my heart was just pounding. I was just really, I was talking to her, and I didn't want to let this one slip away, so I just went for the kiss. And I mean, I just remember, just a great feeling. I'm driving home, just so happy. It just all went so well.
Very nice. Hannibal, tell us about your first kill.
She was a sweet young thing. I remember it just like yesterday. Blue eyes, brown hair, a lovely, sweet smile.
Tell us about the texture of her skin.
The texture of her skin, coarse, oddly enough. She never took care of herself. Odd for someone so beautiful and so tasty.
And how did you prepare her?
I cut her up into quarters. And at that point I cut her up again into quarters. Up and down until I had cubes of meat. Itty little bitty things. From there I sauteed them and later barbecued them.
Better. What tasted better? Saute or barbecue?
The saute at first. The sauteed. Especially the liver. That sauteed was delicious.
Margot, what's the most wonderful thing, surprising thing that's ever happened to you? It's unexpected.
It was when my father showed up to the orphanage to get me.
And how old were you then?
I was around 16 or 17. I thought he'd given up by then. He hadn't talked to me since I was a child. And he showed up and suddenly I'm there. I have a fortune. I have everything handed to me. I have a therapist. I mean, it was good for a while. There was not necessarily the situation, but having hope, because you're stuck somewhere for so long. So to have a new life handed to you, it seems like shining and new at first, until you realize it's the same thing, just different class, different privileges, but
The
people act the
are all
same.
false, nonetheless.
Every person's the same.
Okay. No matter what.
They're all
where they
corrupted.
come from. How about for you, Phil? What's an unexpected, wonderful thing that's happened to you in your life?
Unexpected, wonderful. Just in high school, I remember growing up, I wasn't exactly the coolest guy, but I had my friends, and we all really enjoyed hanging out. Probably some of my fondest memories when we were with them. We just run around high school and, hanging out, having a good time. But, college came around, and I kind of expected us to kind of go our separate ways, kind of lost touch, but they reached out to me, and we ended up getting back together. It was nice just to see that we just came right back into it, just like the old days, and we're just talking about all the stuff we went through, the girls, the college classes, whatever it was, and it was really nice.
How do you want to be remembered when you die, Hannibal?
if anything, for my Epicurean tastes.
How about for you? How do you want to be remembered, Margot?
That I did everything on my own. I want to prove that it's capable of doing things without help from anyone. And that even if you're torn down and beaten down by people, it doesn't change who you are. You changed who you are, and you decide who you are. I don't believe in excuses. So I want it to be known that I did whatever I did, and I was capable of doing anything else anyone else could do. But it wasn't harder for me.
Okay. And Phil, how about for you?
I think it's less what you're remembered for and who remembers you. I just feel like eventually you'll kind of be forgotten anyway, but when you're gone, there's few people you really had a connection with who could really just remember you and be happy about you and just have all these great memories and put a smile on your face. I think that's the most important.
Thank you very much.